Hello, everyone. I'm the Vacuuminator,
I'm Buster.
and this week in Toku, we're going to be discussing the return of Power Rangers Dino Fury, the next Toei Tokusatsu fan special, and the end of Girl Gun.
Quote unquote end, but
The
who's
end
gonna
of Girl Gun.
okay.
But
Yeah.
before we get to that, Buster, how was your week?
Well, it's been a week. Not like a bad or good week, just a very lots of things are happening all at once week. Well, the Kamen build retrospective's finally done. I mean, of course, I still got the movies. That's for later.
Hooray! Everybody go watch it! Yeah! Woo!
Yay! I put all the videos into one complete watch, the full series analysis. If you are curious of why I've been talking about build these last few weeks, that and also I just decided out of because I felt like being doing one of those oddball video ideas. I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna talk about the nuances of the new Scott the Waz special. Best use of 4 hours in my life. I have 100 plus subs now, and we're very close to 500. So the channel's been blowing up. So
Buster's getting over. Let's do it.
yeah, and then I'm actually recording this the first podcast I'm recording on the new laptop. Still have the same microphone, but I just
What is the story with this new laptop? I've not heard anything about this new laptop until tonight.
Okay, well, I got it as a gift. I also have a desktop in the works. That's mainly the laptop is more for writing and schoolwork because I have to still. And the desktop is going to be more for video making. I can still use this laptop for video making, just not as intense. So that's why the upcoming video that's coming out on Thursday. I'm not going to spoil what it is. I mean, you don't even probably know what it is, because it's a very niche topic. At least a topic you're not interested in. Is very editing light. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. It's a very good laptop, and yeah. So I think that really covers all the bases I want to cover. How have you been doing, Mister Back to YouTube?
Yeah. So the plans for my return to YouTube have been in works in the background for a little while now, but only just recently did I decide to capitalize them and finally get moving on some stuff. And not everything's fully in place yet. I'm working on a rebuild of the Patreon, and I'm working on some other stuff. I've got Boingo cooking up some new art assets for me, but I am back to basics. I'm not doing media analysis anymore. I'm not doing that kind of stuff. And I explained this a whole lot in a bunch of tangents in that new review I posted, which is a review of the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. I go into a bunch of tangents of basically just the reason I got into YouTube was to do toy reviews and to do them in the classic style, and I wasn't really good at talking off the cuff back then, and that's part of why I abandoned it, but also because I got enamored with media analysis. But I talk about shows and stuff so much and get so many of my thoughts out here now on Modular Media that doing media analysis at this point in time feels kind of pointless to me and way too labor intensive to be really worth it. And plus, I've got a huge backlog of figures that I've been meaning to open for months and months that I just haven't been able to get through. So having one or two reviews come out a week is a good way to motivate me to get in there and actually engage with this hobby I supposedly have.
Yeah, understandable.
So,
Yeah. I honestly, sorry to speak for myself, but I kind of gone to YouTube just to do media analysis or to talk about media, so it's kind of always been my number one passion. So
yeah, it's my YouTube journey is so fucking weird, honestly, because I got into it as a kid thinking I'm gonna get rich playing with toys on YouTube, and this was back before Ryan's World and all that shit.
Yeah,
so it was an innocent thought. It was an innocent thought back then. This is like 2008, 2009 when I was thinking this. And I didn't end up making my account. I didn't end up making my account until 2011. And then because I wasn't finding a lot of success and I wasn't really happy with my reviews, I just kind of started flitting around and doing other stuff, and eventually I got inspired to do Megaforce Sucks, and I think that's why a lot of people know me as a media analyst now, and why I kept going back to that and doing different Power Rangers and Toku videos, and probably why a good number of people listen to this podcast. But for now, I'm going to be doing toy reviews, and I want to do it in kind of more of a goofy, jokey, off the cuff style. Like, I think of it as a stand-up special that's focused around an action figure. That's why, like, some people might take a look at that video and go, that's one figure and you spent almost 30 minutes on it. What the hell? And I'm like, but there's a bunch of goofing around and dumb tangents that I go on in that video. And a lot of it is because it's my first video back and I felt the need to do a lot of explaining. So we'll probably get a little shorter as times go on. I've got to get back into this style and get used to it and whatnot. And then yeah, that happened. And on top of planning all that, I had a really nice Memorial Day weekend. I don't know about everybody else, but I really got up on some things I was meaning to get up on. We had a great time watching and covering AEW Double or Nothing weekend over on Modular Media Wrestling Podcast, or MMWP. Cheap plug for that. But then I came back to work today, and it was honestly one of the worst days of work I've ever had in my life. And I got home and I basically went, hey, Mom, is there still a job opening at your place of business, at your work? Yeah. Let's go fill that out. I'm putting in my 2 weeks tomorrow. One of those kind of experiences. But you get upset and then you get over it and you pull off that Band-Aid. Like, I didn't even wait till tomorrow. I just texted my boss, like, hey, where do I send an email for a letter of resignation? And they were like, are you sure about that? Yeah. Okay, here. And then I took a shower, had dinner, watched Zenkaiger, and I'm feeling much better now. I'm ready to talk about some stuff. I'm ready to get into some stuff. How about you, Buster?
Yeah, well, let's go. Let's get on it. Yeah. I don't know what was that. Please forgive whatever I just did.
It sounded like sniffling, honestly, from this end.
Dang.
Oh my god.
I was using my nose a lot, but.
So do we want to get into some news? Because there's a lot of news this week. Good bit more than I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, there's not, like, a ton of news, but there's a lot of, like, whoa, this is kind of a big thing kind of news,
Yeah, there's a variety of different things popping off, like the fact that we have more details for the Kamen Rider 01 Others, Vulcan, and Valkyrie. V-Cinext is what they're calling these. Cinext? I don't know how you pronounce that.
I think they started doing that label with Geo. I could be wrong, though.
So. Okay. I wasn't exactly up on current stuff when Geo was happening, so I probably missed that. But yeah, we get to see a bunch of stills from this movie, some shots of various things going on. The biggest detail that I'm the most interested in is apparently we're going to get some more Yua Yaiba backstory in this. There's a shot of her as a college student, is how this describes it.
Interesting. Okay, maybe this will make me like her, because she's like the worst part of 01 to me, not gonna lie.
I have a soft spot for the character just because I think there's a lot of cool stuff they implied, but I acknowledge that's also probably a lot my embellishment and my tendencies to simp taking over.
You're fine. Everyone does it. I just have a bad experience with UN fans.
Mm-hmm.
Probably all the writer characters ruined by the fan base for me. Anyway,
but yeah, we got some other stills. Apparently, Izu and Guy are also going to be in this, and
is Guy going to transform?
He's holding a belt in this shot.
Are they going to use the Zaya suit like in the Genom special?
That'll be interesting to see. I wonder, because they said that suit, the reason the suit looked that way was because of the Bugster virus. But if he's rid of it now, will they repaint the suit back to normal?
I mean, he could have just like grabbed the progress. Did the Zaya progress keys get destroyed at the end of Metsubo Jinrai?
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch because I think like they destroyed.
They
See,
destroyed him.
I want to say they destroyed the one that Fuwa was using at the time, as well as all of their own. But I don't know if they destroyed all of the Progrise keys.
Yeah, I know. Specifically the Zaya key.
Mm.
So like maybe he'll find like remains and just use those so they can like keep reusing that suit.
I
Because it
mean,
is
he
a
is a
really good
smart
suit.
boy. He is a smart boy. He could make new ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
He
really
just
excited.
walks in halfway through the movie, like, I fixed my shit. Let's go.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this come November 10th. It apparently has a limited theatrical run in August 27th through whatever. Maybe then around then we'll get the announcement for a potential third movie in the trilogy or a Toei Tokusatsu fan club special to end it off. We'll see.
But then moving on, we have the full reveal as well as the pre-order information for the complete selection modification Zeronos belt. How you feeling about this thing so far? Because we've got a bunch of glory shots, and then as has become standard with complete selection modification, we've got a video of the actor actually getting hands-on and messing around with it for a little bit and making all kinds of comments about like, whoa, this is nostalgic, and this is the thing that I put on my pants and it turned me into a superhero. Isn't that
Yeah.
neat?
Yeah, it's very neat. Again, I'm not really that much of a Zeronos. To be fair, I haven't finished 10 so I wouldn't know. So I got nothing to say. Just okay, it's cool.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat. I haven't even started Deno, honestly. And the only thing I really know Zeronos from is from Tyson GP. Now that I think about it.
You did play a major role in that movie.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's always fun to see the actor messing around with the belt, especially one who's so far removed from the actual production of the show now. Like, he's one of those guys who really seems to have an attitude of like, oh man, this is neat in like a looking at this old school project you did kind of way, less in a like actual fan what's the word, the fan sort of reverence. That's the word I'm looking for. He doesn't have a fan reverence for not Ishinomori, god damn it. Decade's actor. Whenever he sees something Decade related, he looks like he's experiencing Nirvana.
Yeah. Actually, like Zeronos actor did make a cameo in Dagenger, so he clearly still loves Toku.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I won't spoil which part he appears in, but it's a pretty good part, and it kind of meta if you know who the suit actor of one of this is. Anyway, that's besides.
But pre-orders for this thing began a couple of days ago as of this recording, and I believe the suggested price going by current conversion is $170 USD. So anyone who wants to pick that up, hope you got a big old fat old wallet. Yeah. But so let's take a pause.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So let's get into the big thing, shall we?
What's the big? Oh yeah! Let's
go! Power Rangers is making its official move to Netflix. Apparently, they let the contract with Nickelodeon run out because Season 1, Part 1 of Dino Fury will be arriving on Netflix June 15th. And not just that, but it's going to be episodes 1 through 11, which means we will be getting 3 new episodes with this drop, which is kind of huge.
Yeah. And if I may go on a Netflix chat, I've been wanting this since Dino Charge. Keep this in mind. So this is kind of
okay. So you're firmly in that camp.
Yeah, and especially because I've had cousins, like little cousins, who I say, "Hey, do you know Power Rangers?" And they're like, "Yeah, I watch it on Netflix." That is how you get them. That Netflix and streaming. That is how you introduce a new audience. I'm sorry, I know like cable is still a thing, but no, all the audience now are at Netflix, and like anyone, even like older fans I talk to, they're like, "Yeah, I watch Power Rangers occasionally on Netflix." Something. It's why the big Netflix removal of February was a big slap in the face. It's because now we can't have access to these shows, and you're limiting the chance to make new fans. And now,
Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective for me to hear, because for so long I've had older fans kind of giving me the gospel of, well, you need that network reach, you need that network television reach in order to be able to sell the toy line. And I've always kind of been like, I don't know, bro. Those Netflix Voltron toys were hard to find, and not because of distribution. So to hear it confirmed by someone younger from me that Netflix is popular enough to support Power Rangers, at least from your perspective, that's very joyous.
It's also just an easy way to just like recommend it. You don't have to go, oh, you have to wake up 8 a.m. because like the current way Nick is treating Power Rangers, that's not a comfortable way to promote the show. Like it's just an easy way to recommend it. It's like, oh, I want to get to Power Rangers. Okay, go on Netflix. That's it.
The latest season is pretty good.
Yeah, except episode 8, but that's besides the point.
So obviously the big thing with this, Buster, is we're gonna get 3 episodes on the same day. Do we want to cover all 3 of those in the same episode of TWIT, or do we want to space them out?
Let's cover. It's only 3. We could do 3, right? And I'm like, I'll probably be like. I mean, granted, this is gonna be in the middle of E3, which is kind of a big deal for me. But
okay.
Literally, well, to be fair, I think this happens at the end of E3, so it's not. So I can just still be like an E3 palate cleanser.
I don't care about video games that much, so E3 is just one of the many days of the year that I'm like, maybe I won't look at Twitter so much this weekend.
I mean, like, maybe there'll be a Pokemon Legends, who knows? But anyway, so yeah, like, this is, like, what I mean by the June Apocalypse is real. It's why, like, I renamed my Discord server the June Apocalypse.
It is shaping up to be quite the crazy month, news-wise, and in my own personal life, if today is any indication. Oh, boy.
I think like, okay, so for further reference, I think 3 is fine. If it's like 6, then that's pushing it a bit. I think we should at max do 4, but at minimum do 2.
We might get the whole rest of the season in like 4 months after.
Yeah, I was just about to mention, like, if they do the rest of the season drop, we'll just like do like 4 or 2 max per episode or something.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Since we're doing the 3 new ones this time, if they do another like big batch drop, let's do 2 a week.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. 2 a week sounds good. I was gonna say 4, but 4's kind of pushing it. Maybe
like it'll probably be it'll be a little hard to avoid spoilers, but like I can't imagine trying to keep plot details from like 10 episodes straight in one conversation.
Good point. We'll basically be doing like a series podcast at that point, like with the 0-1. Yeah, 2 sound good. Although, like, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna like binge it all and then like specifically rewatch the episodes we're talking about that week, just so I can have.
Yeah, I might do that as well, just to avoid spoilers. Now that you say it, so let's say for the listeners, here's the plan. We will, because we don't want any of you lovely listeners spoiling us in the comments, we are going to watch all the episodes as they drop, but after this dump, because I'm just going to assume this is how Power Rangers is releasing from now on, is big batch dumps on Netflix.
Yeah.
So we'll watch all the episodes when they drop in our own time, and then we will cover 2 a week on TWIT.
Yeah. Well, in this case, 3, but who's counting right now?
Yeah, nobody's counting. We're the only ones counting. We're the counters here.
Yeah. Oh boy, that went on longer than I expected.
Yeah, but still, it's exciting news. It was kind of the biggest. It was kind of the biggest thing of the week. Everybody was freaking out about this for a day and a half.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, and honestly, like, I feel like this will finally get like some more publicity on Dino Fury, because I feel like this is an actual good season. Like, I mean, yeah, Beast Morphers, like, even, like, it, because I like parts of it, like, it kind of felt like a half step. This feels like the actual step I wanted,
Yeah, I get the feeling I liked Beast Morphers a lot more than you did.
Yeah, well, I mean, if my video's any indication, hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah. But But let's go ahead and move on to some Sentai news. And the first thing we have up for Sentai this week is that Shop Sunrise, I almost said Shop Sunrise. Shop Sunrise has announced that they are going to be doing Sentai anniversary plushes. 4 plushes have been announced, which will be of Juo Eagle, Gokai Red, Gal Lion, I believe it is, and Boken Red. And it will be coming with Tokuger little keychain tags of the Sentai gears.
I like
and
that.
we only have artist renderings of them right now, but they're distinctly chibified, and they look like very cute plushies that you would find on somebody's bed, which is exactly what they should be.
Yeah. Actually, I find it cool how they're all anniversary seasons. Gal Ranger, Bokenger, Gokaiger, Joder, those are all anniversary seasons. Not sure if you connect those dots.
Mhm.
And I'm really interested. I might cop that Yamato one if I can find it.
I'm very tempted to get Yamato and Marvelous because these are actually relatively cheap for Japanese Sentai merch. They are going to be, going by current conversion rate, $16 United States.
Yeah, that's how much I paid for a Kamen Rider Build and O's plushie at a convention once. So yeah, that should be good.
I wonder if that's just the standard price for plushes over there now.
Yeah, it probably is, which makes them like they're good merch. Honestly, I have like the Build and O's plushies. They're very good toys. Like they're not the most like expensive plushies ever, but they're fun.
Yeah. So these are going to be releasing in August of this year. However, they are only being sold through a Japanese website, so you'll want to use a middleman service if you want to get a hold of them. So the one the article here is recommending is from Japan. I've heard of them before, but never used them personally, so cannot say whether or not I recommend them.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys.
God, I'm looking forward to this next one.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next Toei Tokusatsu fan club special, which is going to be Mashin Sentai Kiramager Yodonna. I know nothing about this show or this character. Help me, Buster.
Okay, okay, to be fair, I kind of dipped off of Kiramager before the 6 and Yodonna showed up, but I do know about her through, the people who love Kiramager.
And...
I
mean, I think it's a fairly solid character design, but that's literally the only opinion I have, is like...
Yeah, the character design is good, and, I feel like the actress is having a lot of fun playing this, kind of sadistic. I don't like the idea of this special...
Because it says here that she's going to kidnap the Red Ranger's girlfriend for a sinister new plan. And one of the images of them posed in a very homoerotic way.
That's not the problem I have. The problem is Red's girlfriend is a high schooler, and she's an adult.
Oh dear.
Call the police. Actually, don't call the police.
Is this a Koichi Sakamoto joint?
I'm trying to... Sakamoto has no it feels like Sakamoto's part of this, but I don't see his name anywhere.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it does feel very Sakamoto, like a movie Sakamoto would direct outside of Kamen Rider, with the whole aesthetic. But
all it's missing is a bunch of needless fake blood.
Yep, and which I'm pretty sure it's a Toei Tokusatsu fan club. They can do that if they want.
Don't get me wrong, folks. I like Koichi Sakamoto when he's reined in.
Yeah, Ultraman is the best way, although I'm kind of worried about Trigger because there's going to be an evil female Ultra-like character, so get your horny bats ready.
And I mean, as much as it pains me to say Ghost and Good in the same sentence, the Ghost and X8 movie he directed is one of my favorite Rider crossovers.
Okay, so why are you so heartbroken over saying it's one of? I'm gonna stop nipping.
I don't know anything anymore. All I know is that Ultraman Connection Live Sevenger Fight virtual event has been announced. What?
Hey, we're saved, and also, yay, Sevenger! I like Sevenger. He's a fun guy.
So, from what I can gather, this is a mini-series that was aired in Japan, but not over here. and now it's going to be presented all in one go with English subtitles and like interviews with the cast, and you have to buy a ticket to it, I think.
Wait, what? Okay. I'm actually surprised this isn't happening on Ultraman Day, but then again, Trigger is being aired on Ultraman, so I kind of see that.
Yeah, I'm trying to read through this article now because I couldn't figure it out the first time.
Yeah, okay, there's a Vimeo. There's a Vimeo thing on it. Watch that muted because there's subtitles on it.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, yeah, actually we heard about this a while ago. I think this was before we started the podcast, but that like old Tsuburaya was having a streaming service that would like air some original content, and one of the original content was the Sevenger show. And now we're going to see it. So it's glad that Tsuburaya, they still, like, you know, appealing to the Japanese market, but they're giving us a Western fans a bone.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it probably means the Tsuburaya, Tsuburaya service isn't coming here, which, you know, that's fine. We already have Tubi, and they're airing all the Mill Creek Ultraman shows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, watching this is very cute. I like it. Like you see Sevenger, like, just interacting with all the giant monsters, being cute and all. It's adorable.
Yeah, it's weird. Any information in this article about how you actually watch this, just like ticket prices. And I'm like,
wait,
okay, where do I buy a ticket? It's going to be 12 USD, 12.50 USD per ticket, 25 if you want to get the Sevenger collector's pin they're advertising.
Oh, wait, there has to be some sort of source. Oh wait, there's some sources like Ultra Galaxy and Ultraman Connection and Forbes. So
this is investigative journalism in action, folks.
Yes, that you can't see because this is a podcast. Yeah. Oh, it's apparently taking place in a couple days, June 3rd. So by the time, like, it'll happen tomorrow by the time this episode goes up.
Oh dear, we're timely.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we kind of had to delay this because it's been such a busy. Okay, so it's at the Ultraman Connection fan site, TRL.
Okay, so you watch it on that website, Ultraman Fan Connection.
Yeah. Then they have tickets. There's a $12. There's access to show and merch store and access to like. Nice. Yeah. Maybe.
Mystery solved. So, Busterman, do you think you will be watching this when it happens?
No, I'm sorry. I just don't. I'm very lazy, and I kind of like. I want to watch it, but like I'm like, I'll probably just wait for the milk.
Same, honestly, because I fucking hate time-sensitive releases. It's part of why I stopped going to movie theaters pre-pandemic, was I was just like, I hate having to build my whole day around a certain thing I want to watch. Like, that's why I don't do old-school TV. That's why I don't want to go to movies anymore. That's why I say I'm going to watch a show, and then I get like 2 seasons in and go like, I'm going to finish it after I do this other thing.
See, this is why Kajin House is the best, because it's only 2 hours and you got the whole show.
Oh, man. But let's move on to some news about the next Ultraman show, which is that Kei Hosogai has been cast in Ultraman Trigger as Angus, the space treasure hunter who is traveling across the galaxy in search of top-class treasures. He's apparently going to be sort of a adversary / ally, kind of a frenemy for the Trigger cast. And yeah, if you recognize that name, that's because this is fucking Basco from Zenkaiger.
Yeah!
Basco is in Ultraman. I'm so hype, especially because he's basically playing a slightly different version of a pirate.
Yeah, like they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing with this casting, and it's like a bit. No wonder they're putting they're putting out like casting information once per week, because like the casting itself is just so hype.
Mm-hmm. This is really exciting me for this show. I hope he has like a really cool
added back when I found this out. I was like, oh, he's gotta know.
Yeah, we were talking last week about how, like, I wonder if they're gonna just bring back Juggler again. No, this is clearly the Juggler of this series, relating it to how Zed functioned.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder if he'll get because he does have a gun. Will he get like a dark trigger device?
Ooh, that would be exciting.
Yeah, because I'm pretty maybe he'll be the one to summon out those evil ultras that have been teased, or the absolutes, whatever they were called in Ultra Galaxy Fight, Absolute Conspiracy, because I actually haven't watched that, but
yeah. Be interesting if they play him kind of like how Stay Caesar is in Zenkaiger right now.
Yeah. Oh, dang it. I just realized we have two evil twinks at the same time for Toku.
I mean, I'm not against evil twink supremacy.
Me neither.
Oh boy. But not much else to say on that. It's just very exciting casting, and I'm looking forward to seeing the guy in the show.
Yeah, same.
So let's move on to the final thing, which is that the next installment in the Heroine, the Takara's fucking Toku show for little girls. We have the next installment of that, which is going to be Bittomo X Heroine Kirameki, which is a video game themed season.
X-Aid 2, baby. I'm sorry. Please hit me now.
Honestly, their outfits do remind me a fair bit of Poppy.
Yeah, not even just Poppy, but like the color is like X-Aid and Genom when you get down to it.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, like, they know what they're doing.
Maybe we'll watch it if subs come out, because this will surely be a better female-led Toku than Girl Gun.
Yeah. I mean, this is actually targeted at little girls instead of sad middle-aged men who build model kits in their apartments.
Yeah, and also it looks fun.
Yeah, so if anybody knows a subgroup for this series, for this franchise in general, or somebody who wants to sub this show, please point them our way. I'm very interested to check this out.
Looks like it will start around the same time as Trigger, so July 11th.
Yeah, it starts on July 11th, and yeah, some of these character designs look super neat. Like the freaking butler guy looks straight out of a shonen anime. All the little plushy friends I'm digging, and the evil Makakara, the evil witch, is fucking an aesthetic ass design. I love it.
Yeah. It really does feel like a great show for like kids, for people, the child-minded, dare I say, because I just like pretty colors.
I mean, it's definitely shooting a little lower than Sentai does, just going off of this one trailer we have for it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like that's a good thing. You get them hooked early, especially, and you're bringing another demographic into it of like we've talked about. This very much evokes the idea of X-Aid. Picture this: family, older sibling is a brother, and he has a younger sister. He goes like, "Oh, you think those action figures I've been playing with are neat for the last few years? Here's a show that's made specifically for you and looks like that."
Yeah. Also, I like I'm skipping to the toy. I like the little camera wristband game controller thing with like the SD cards. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I think it's reading barcodes on those things, like the Deca driver.
Yeah, I mean, there's like little barcodes, so. Yeah, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably so they can produce.
So I think we're both very much in agreement that we're going to check this out as
if we can,
as soon as it gets subbed. We'll say it that way.
Yeah.
Also, I completely skipped over this or missed it rather. The butler character, he's played by Snipe.
Ooh, oh my god, it really is X2.
He's passing the torch to these 12-year-old girls.
Yeah, hopefully with less death and despair, because X does get pretty despairing at times.
Oh man, yeah, this show looks pretty fun. So that's basically all there is to say on that. So should we move into episodes? New episodes?
Yeah. No episodes or episode, but we'll get to why that is.
Yeah, so tell me, Buster, what happened this week on Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger episode 13, Recycle It and Use It Again?
Well, this is a Gowan-focused episode. It's basically him and two Kaiser butting heads. There's a lot of tickling. Don't take that off context. But like, a wholesome tickling, because tickling solves the day. This is sounding really bad. I'm sorry.
I'm severely tempted to make a wholesome tickling the title of this episode.
Don't. Please don't. If you do that, I am going to find you.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I enjoyed this episode a fair bit, though I was getting annoyed at it a little bit at the start just because it seemed like Zox was going his own way just for the sake of going his own way. Like, the writing there was a little contrived. yeah, none of these gears have been the one that I'm looking for, but that doesn't mean I couldn't find the one I'm looking for if I keep stealing gears.
Yeah, it kind of really, it felt like one of the more weaker episodes, but it's still a very funny episode, you know, there's still a lot of wacky jokes and great character dynamics that Zenkaiger's known for.
Yeah, that's like the one problem I had with it, honestly. I loved the evil Sentai they
Oh
formed
yeah,
and how
like,
they acknowledged that that's a thing.
and how they keep, like, copying their moves and stuff, that was,
Mhm.
and
Go ahead.
And also, I love like when the Star Caesar shows up at the end. I think they did a Battle Fever J reference with like the old school Sentai effect because like Star Caesar is very much Battle Fever J inspired, at least for suit. So
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Battle Fever, but I definitely got that vibe from the way the robot came in.
at
Like it
least
was.
very Showa Sentai.
Mhm.
Like because
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, because like the Star Caesar's robo is just a one robot. It's done no transforming gimmick, so it very much is Showa Sentai. So of course they were gonna like homage Showa Sentai effects.
Yeah, I love the way it just kind of flies in like a kid is puppeting it with their hand.
Yeah. And look, honestly, this might be one of the most clever anniversaries I've seen done in Toku, where instead of like bringing back past actors, you homage effects and the like theming and stuff. You get like this, like just in these little clever thematic ways and visual ways, you're homaging past instead of like physically, you know?
Nice.
That might have been a bit too big brain moment.
No, like I got it. It's just like there's not much I can expound upon there. Like, yeah, I see that too.
Yeah.
How did you feel about? Because I think this is the first time we've seen the Kuttner version of Tukayo. How'd you feel about that?
Oh, actually, we've seen it before, but like in the series, not just in the Henshin lessons.
Mhm.
But yeah, I really like this. Especially, always love the little personality quirks they have with the new forms. Like, especially like this is the first time we saw his finisher, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Like
Do you have any idea why Japan calls miniguns Vulcans?
no,
Okay. That's something I've always wondered. And it's like it's one of those things where like I'm sure there's a perfectly logical explanation for it, but also I'm too lazy to seek it out myself.
maybe one day.
Yeah. Maybe you could you the listener could let us know by commenting on this video. Like, engage with the YouTube algorithm or the algorithm of whatever service you're listening to this podcast through.
Yeah, please.
Hey.
Yeah. I got nothing else to say. Very basic episode, but like
Yeah.
still very good.
It was fun. Oh, I almost forgot. Great reuse of a suit. Great way to reuse a suit.
Oh, which one? The recycling?
Yeah, because it's
yeah,
basically just the trash monster, but with a sticker on
Oh, well, it's a recycling monster. Ah, I see what they did. Ah, that's
it.
cute. That's
Yeah.
cute.
All
Now
right.
on to something less uncute. Rip the band-aid off.
Okay, so I don't know about you, but I kind of just want to cut to the chase here.
Cut to the chase. Do it. Do it.
So we decided to drop Girl Gun, everyone. Like, Buster told me, because we thought, for 2 weeks in a row now, we thought it was the last episode next week. And when Buster messaged me that this was not the last episode, I, like, had a fucking conniption behind my keyboard. I was like, we're done. This show keeps fucking us over. I can't stand it anymore. I've had all I can stands, and I can't stands no more. Much like with my day job. So I basically proposed to Buster, and I guess we're hashing this out on mic now, much like with how we're going to cover Power Rangers. We decided that a good idea would be to introduce a free episode rule, our version of the free episode rule, because that's a concept that's around in all kinds of fandoms of, oh, I watch the first 3 episodes of something, and if it doesn't hook me, then I stop watching it. I've never been a fan of that method of watching something, because it feels like you're not even really wanting to commit to the show in the first place. So instead, what we're going to do is, if both of us don't like 3 episodes in a row, then we're done. If it's like 3 episodes of one of us likes it and the other doesn't, then we'll probably keep going because that's at least interesting content for you, the listeners. But I don't feel like us suffering week after week together and just bashing on the show for a full 20 minutes is really going to make for great content.
Yeah, actually, two things I want to mention. One, about the rules. I think if one of us doesn't like it, I think we can drop it, especially because of my second point. So there's been a lot, let's be honest, there's a lot of toxic, fandoms and discussion in general. And I really, something happened on Twitter, I'm not going to say what it is, but that just made me realize we need to show Tokusatsu in a great light. We can't be, being whiny baby. We can still constructively critique it, but I feel like just whining and being upset over Toku is not the best way to do it.
I mean, I definitely understand that. A big part of the reason we're dropping Girl Gun, because I watched I tried to watch episode 8. I got 10 minutes in, and I just went it's just all the same problems. It's just all the same problems. There's nothing new I can say here except different methods of screaming, and that's just going to blow out somebody's eardrums. So if there's nothing else to say on a show, even if we're trying to be constructive, why should we keep talking about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the last episode will do something BS, but we just don't care at this rate, and it's just, why should I talk about something that brings me just not very good emotions? Especially when I'm kind of having, a weird, transitional period in my life, and I kind of need to get all the good entertainment in my system.
Yeah. And I mean, we both will still aim to cover all the Toku that is available to us and is new, but don't expect everything to get covered in full.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I could see the next Ultraman coming around, and God, I hope not, but maybe Trigger isn't to one of our tastes, and we just decide, I'm not going to watch for a couple weeks, and I'll just let you tell me how it is. That could be a thing that happens. That could be an interesting way of doing the podcast.
Yeah, I like it. That's what I was saying with the first thing, where it's if one of us I don't want to torture you just so we can have a quote unquote interesting discussion on Saber or something,
Mm-hmm. At this point, I pretty much firmly decided I'm never watching Saber just because it's too much of a labor. Unless somebody tells, hey, we've had enough of this discussion. Girl Gun's fucking dead. We're never talking about it again.
Yeah, unless I decide to review it once, but even then I'm not torturing you. I'm not bringing you with me.
Oh my god, you become famous for making Girl Gun Lady Sucks.
Oh god. I'm not gonna call it that, but I'll probably just call it just something. It's just trash or something wacky. Not
only if you put Danny DeVito in the thumbnail.
Okay, yeah. I'll just put Danny DeVito's face over the main.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of quote-unquote trash, I say quote-unquote because at least for now it's not trash for me, I decided I'm going to try to catch up on Kamen Rider Saber very slowly because I've only watched 2 episodes. My original plan was to watch the first arc, but kind of been lazy, then Virtual Fighter came out, and I'm I want to play that, so I just only watched 2 episodes so far when catching up with Saber. This is okay. It's an okay beginning. Not the greatest beginning of a ride. Okay, here's the thing. Saber has a lot of fun characters. I like Toma. His writers, they have these little quirks of him being a writer and writer's block, and he's a very nice guy. That is an endearing character. Rintaro, the secondary writer, Blades. He is a very charming guy, and he always cares out for everyone. And he has this really funny thing about sweets and kind of being kind of a little antisocial. And May even is probably the best writer girl I've seen in a while. She's actually in the action, not physical fighting, but excited and has some nice character bits.
He does seem like a cutie pie.
Yeah. The problem comes to CGI. Now the practical fights are great. They kind of go overboard with CGI these first 2 episodes, and I know it gets fixed. But oh boy, they really wanted to try to sell the mystical stuff, and it does not look good. I felt like they should have there's this one scene in episode 1, and it gave me Geo flashbacks to the time the Time Jackers did a big CGI fight when the Time Machines. That that was ugly, and I get it. You can't have the prettiest CGI, but use it sparingly. I prefer and it didn't really look appealing. There's a bad CGI I can tolerate, but the coloring, it hurt my eyes.
I mean, I get why it has to be a thing in this series, but I will say one of the things that immediately turned me off to Saber upon its reveal was the fact that they do stock footage transformations. That just doesn't feel
really quick.
They do?
Yeah, they do drop that quick.
Shit, nobody told me that.
Yeah, like around after the first arc, they kind of stopped doing that. Like Kamen Rider, like to skip ahead, Kamen Rider Sabala's first transformation is entirely out in camera. So
Okay, that's cool.
yeah, they drop a lot of the stuff that like the quote unquote quirks, like the CGI. But it looks but I just like the right. It's simple. It's it's cute. Like I feel like I know what's coming up, and I'm really not looking forward to it because we'll get to that rant when we get to it. But oh boy, I'm not looking forward to what's coming up. But like the first arc, I really like. Writing wise, it's good. Action wise, it's probably the worst writer's been. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so I just have one question.
Yeah.
How much infinite potential does this show have?
Honestly, like if I'm being if I'm not memeing it up here, this show has a lot of potential. It's Kamen Rider Knights. Like I like the aesthetics. Honestly, I know like you're not big on the aesthetics, but I like the little mix and match of the books. Like what's a cool detail? So each of the three main writers, Saber, Blades, and Espada, they each put the book on a different side, and they have like half a coat for each side of the book. So like Blades, like he puts his book in the middle, he only has like a coat on his back. Saber, he puts his coat, I think, on the right or left, or one of the opposite sides, and he has his coat only on that side. So like that, and that's a really neat detail. I just find that I'll probably mention that if I ever do a Saber review, like how kind of smart the aesthetics are. Although, like, I really wish more people use the sword driver because there's a lot of writers, and they probably should have had more sword driver users instead of just, hey, have more swords.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, like, I don't necessarily hate Saber's aesthetics on the whole because they've introduced a lot of writers since the initial reveal who have vastly different design philosophy. Well, they have the same design philosophy, but they're a very different aesthetic than Saber himself. Like, I don't hate Buster's suit. It's not my favorite in the world, but it's pretty good. And what's his name who looks like he walked off X8 set is pretty cool.
Ren?
Yes, definitely. Him.
Yeah.
I totally know all their names.
Yeah, like the green guy, right?
No,
Slash. Slash. Oh, okay. Slash is actually my favorite suit. I know like a lot of people hated Slash, and honestly, he's my favorite character from what I've seen of Saber. Because I got up to episode 10 before just kind of forgetting about Saber. Apparently for the best. We'll get to if that's good, because I've heard things, like, I haven't watched it, but I've heard things about the later arcs that kind of piss me off, not gonna lie. It might break my rule that there's no bad writer seasons minus Shin. It might. Or it might be, that's what I'm scared about. At least the first arc, I think, will be okay, even if the action will be kind of meh. Because again, it sucks because I like the writing in Saber, but when it relies too much on ugly CGI instead of the beautiful suits it has, you know?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. Again, we'll get more into the more pros and cons, like crazy stuff about Saber later on. Hopefully, next episode if I can get off my butt and watch it. But
I look forward to hearing it. I look forward to hearing some opinions on Saber that aren't just like, oh, hey, look at this thing that happened. Because that's what all of people discussing Saber on Twitter is, oh, look at this screenshot. Isn't this screenshot crazy? And I'm like, yeah, sure it is. Wish I understood the context so I could form an opinion about it.
Well, actually, like, I follow a lot of my kind of circle of Toku. Like, I kind of follow, has kind of been discussing, like, man, this is why Saber isn't that great, or like they kind of been giving out points, like saying, man, this character kind of like dropped the ball, or this character had so much potential, but they kind of faltered it.
Well, gosh, diggity dang it! I guess I'm just in all the wrong crowds.
Exactly. I will say before we end, I am not looking forward to Sabala / Rekka. I do not like. I'm really not looking forward to her character. Oh god.
It looks like Marika version 2 from what I've seen.
Oh no, for me it's Yua 2. For me it's Yua 2 because okay, sorry to get on Gaim Titan. Marika I liked, except at the end, the ending was just her end was so unearned.
Marika was good until her character devolved into, I want him to have a baby. You're strong. Put a
Oh, I
baby
forgot
in
about
me.
that. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, that was bad. I completely forgot about that detail of guy, and probably means I should probably rewatch it. No, that's another day. Should we end off?
Yeah. Why don't you tell the people who you are and where they can find your stuff if you would like them to, Buster?
Sup, on Buster Corp. I just blew up because I released a video about Scott the Lost, but more importantly
Whoa!
on on this podcast, I just released a Kamen Rider build retrospective / analysis / whatever you want to call those. So yeah, go check that out. I put a lot of work into it, like a month's worth of work, probably like one of my most ambitious projects ever. So please watch it. I got more videos coming up on video games, other Toku. You might see a Kamen Rider double video soon. Wink, wink. But it's not like a series review. It's like a character analysis. But you'll see what I mean.
And where would they go watch that stuff?
Oh, on the YouTube channel, Buster Corp. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, everyone, I am the Vacuuminator. I guess at this point you could kind of call me a YouTube journeyman, although that sounds extremely egotistical.
Go with the ego.
Yeah, I'm Big Boss Man, and I'm back to my basics. I'm back to basics, you could say, if you want to get punderful. And yeah, I went and did a review of the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Green Ranger Single Pack Edition. You can go check that out at my YouTube channel, youtube.com/thevacuuminator, spelled THEVACUUMINATOR. And I've hopefully got more videos like that coming in the not too distant future. But if you just want to keep up with me and what I'm doing, you can do that by following me on Twitter at the Vacuuminator and on Instagram at @the_Vacuuminator. But I would also encourage you to support this podcast by following it on whatever platform you're listening to. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/modularmedia, and give us a like, give us a comment, subscribe, and ring the bell in order to enable notifications and get every Modular Media podcast as they come out. And yeah, guys, we've also got a Twitter. You can follow it and get updates on all the stuff we're doing as we're doing it. It's at the Modular Media. And you can join us on subreddit r/Modular Media for all the same reasons. But that's going to do it for this week in Tokusatsu. We'll see you next week when we find out what happens that week in Tokusatsu.